Hello, everyone. Welcome to Swiflearn Live classes. Welcome to our YouTube channel. So here I am, Harneet Ma'am, teaching you how to understand what is a quadrilateral. So we have already done one session, and here I am with you with the second session, right? Okay, so before starting the topic, let's us understand what exactly a Swiflearn is, what as a company we do. All right. So Swiflearn is an online platform in which we give 100% live and interactive classes. So what does this 100% live and interactive classes means? That each and every session or each and every class which is happening on our platform, we are delivering it live. So you are there on the other side. We are there here to teach you each and every step. There and then we are solving all your doubts. So it's not a pre-recorded session. It's not like we have already recorded the session and just watching a video. No, it's not like that. So we are there with you at the very that moment teaching you. Okay. And the most important point is that we take this education very seriously. And we know that to know the knowledge, to get the knowledge from the best, we have to have the minimum number of students so that we teachers can concentrate more on you. That is the reason that we have made a group of maximum of 6 students. Yes, maximum of 6 students are there in a class, but generally we prefer 3 to 4. All right. So what happens is in that selection, when there are less number of students, we are able to concentrate more. We realize that which is the step which is not clear to you, which is a step which you have a doubt, which is not possible when you are there in a big group of education. Secondly, it's also not possible when you are in a school. So as a teacher cannot look at in 1 hour, deliver the topic to the best of ability and look at each and every student, that 31 or 40 students for the matter at the same time, right? So it is quite difficult for her. So we've just removed this problem and we make it a point that maximum of 6 students are there in a batch. Then the third thing is that there is a dedicated academic mentor team to track and work on students' progress. So the academic mentor teams takes a track of each and everything, how you're proceeding, how you're solving the question in the class, how you're doing it in the homework, which were assignments which we are giving you. So with this, we are able to understand that where are you lacking, how are you proceeding. So where were you on the before part and how have you exceeded? Okay. And the best part is that the course can be made according to you. So we do customized request as well. So if you think that this topic is perfectly fine, you are great to go, you don't need any problem, you don't have any questions to ask about it, you can solve variety of that question in that particular topic. So instead of that, you want some other topic which is not there in your course, even then we are there to teach you. So we have that broadness in which you can customize the course and the topic which you want to study from us, we'll do accordingly. So with all these points, won't you say that Swiflearn Company is the India's most sincere learning destination for the classes 3rd to 10? Yes, right. We teach the students from grade 3rd to grade 10. So all the students which are there with me today and watching this session, kindly enroll for this and give it a try, as a trial class is free of cost. We don't charge for that. Just try it once. Now, further explaining the features that are that you will have a detailed report, progress reports like a statistics. So you'll have the graph on your profile on the admin panel in which you would be using login ID, in which each and everything is tracked and you can realize that which topic you have done the mastery, you have done the best possible way, and in which topic you need a little more improvement. Okay. Then we also have SATs. SATs is a Swiflearn academic test series. So on almost every Sunday, we conduct a SAT exam for each and every subject in which all the students around the world can apply. So you know where do you stand on an international level. So that in that test series also you will realize that where are you standing and how much more effort do you need to crack those exams and to reach on the top. After all, it's a world of competition and you have to work hard for that, right? And we all aim to have a great future ahead. Okay. The third is that we provide the ultimate unlimited practice tests. So there are a great number of tests which are there for you. You keep on practicing. We will not stop you for that. There's no limited number. We'll keep on adding. So each and every day we keep on adding new test papers and we circulate it to our students. So the students practice it, as we all say, practice makes a man perfect or a child perfect in the particular subject, right? So that's what we make it a goal, that the student, whoever is enrolled with us, he understands each and everything. The best part, I would say, that the question and answers that we give you, it is not a multi-choice question answer. That is, that you don't have to click on the options. Instead, you have to upload it, or you have to give us the steps as well. So which is very important in mathematics. Directly giving answer will score you just 1 point or half a point of that half marks for that question, because the teacher wants to know the steps. Have you understood each and every step, which is very important in mathematics? And that thing also help us to realize or to identify that if you know the concept, but instead the problem is that you have done a minor calculation mistake, particularly in maths. So this way we are able to understand exactly what the problem is. Not directly or bluntly saying that you don't know the topic, kindly revise the topic again with us. No, we try to find out the maximum possible method or the maximal error which we are committing to the best ability of ours. So subjective test is also very important. All right. So I hope you think that we are doing a good work and we are there to teach to the best of our abilities and learning from you also there. So we together can make a good place to live in, right? With the knowledge, with the great minds. If you like what we are doing, to kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel and press on the bell icon so that you never miss any update on the live sessions. So you never miss what we are going to teach you next. So each and every class which is scheduled, we make a post before a day. So today you'll get all the posts that whatever topics the online teachers would be teaching tomorrow. So you can enroll that, you can look at the time and manage your day accordingly so that you can come here and study with us. So good to go? Yeah, great. Okay, so let's start the topic. The topic that we are going to study is the Understanding Quadrilateral. It's a part 2. So I've already taught you in the part 1, in which we have learned various things. But today we'll do the part 2, in which we'll understand what are external angles of a polygon and how many kinds of quadrilaterals do we have. Okay, so let's recall. We will recall what is a polygon that we have already studied in our before class. If you haven't, then after this session, you kindly go and check that video so that you have a clarity of what we are going today. Okay, so today we'll do recall what is polygon, their classification, and what are diagonals. We'll also recall what we have studied before, what is a convex and a concave polygons, a regular and an irregular polygons. So we did all of this. We also studied the sum of measurements of the internal angles, right? But today we'll do the sum measurement of the external angles of a polygon. So there's a difference. The sum measurement of the internal angles, what are internal angles? And today what we'll do is we'll understand how the sum measurement is for the external angles of a polygon. We'll also find the kinds of quadrilaterals we have, the elements of a parallelogram. So first of all, what is a parallelogram? That we'll study. We'll understand its elements, the angles of a parallelogram, and what is a diagonal. What is the property of a diagonal of a parallelogram? Sorry. Yeah. So let's start. Let me check your knowledge. Let me know, have you gone through the first video? Do you understand what we have taught you? So here are some questions for practice. So I'll give you a figure. You have to tell me which kind of curve it is. Okay, so look at this figure and kindly comment me, give me in the chat box that which type of curve is it? Which figure is it? This one, and this one. So I have 3 figures on the screen. You have to tell me which figure is it. Yes. Yes, you're right. The answer is it is a simple closed curves. So you can see it is all closed. It's curved, but we are specially said simple. Why is it simple? Because the curves do not meet. They do not cross each other. So when the lines do not cross each other, instead there are closed curves. We call it simple closed curves. All right. Okay, great work. Let me give you the another one. So tell me, which kind of curve is these curves? Figures are which kind of curves? Yes, great. So yes, you're right. It is a closed curve, but it's not simple. Why is it not simple? Pretty easy. Yes, because the closed curves which do not have simple curves are known as simple curves because they are intersecting. So if they're intersecting, we do not call them simple curves. Simple as that. Yeah. All right, let me revise it. What is it? A picture, whichever it is closed, we call it closed curve. So we can see here also it's closed, and the pictures which were there in the earlier slide, they were also closed. But the main difference, why do we call it simple and non-simple or not simple? It is that here you can see, even if they are closed, they are intersecting, they are meeting at different points. So that is why we call them, it is a closed curve, but it is not simple. Same goes here. It is closed, but it's meeting. That's why it is not simple. Whereas in the earlier figures that we saw, can you see this one? It's closed and nor any of the lines are meeting or crossing or intersecting. They are just joining each other, touching them, but not intersecting, not crossing them. So that is the main difference why we call it, it's a simple and a non-simple curve. All right, great. So you have to tell me the name of these polygons. So how many sides are there for these polygons? See, the polygons names as we discussed in the previous, it is derived from the how many sides do they have, how many angles do they have. So let us count how many sides, starting from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 10 sides. What do we call a polygon which has 10 sides? Yes, quickly. Yes, that's right. We call it decagon. Deca stands for 10, so we call it decagon. Okay, here goes the next figure. Now, can you tell me what do we call this figure, this polygon? How many sides are there? Let's count them. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a polygon with 6 sides, we call it hexagon, right? Hexa stands for 6. All right, now this is pretty easy. A polygon which has 4 sides. What do we call that? Yes, quadrilateral. That's quite easy. Okay, so here's a chart for a revision that a figure which has 4 vertices or sides, we call it a quadrilateral. The figure looks quite similar to this one. The figure which has 5 vertices or sides, we call it a pentagon. Penta stands for 5. Right, so can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a figure of a pentagon. 6 stands for hexagon, and that looks similar to this one. 7 for hepta, 8 for octagon, 9 sides known as nonagon, 10 known as decagon. So this names keeps on going, so we can have n number. N means as many polygons we want or we can make, it's up to us. So we can keep on giving different names, okay? But still now, we are only learning till tables till the sides of 10. All right. All right, so we already started that what is a diagonal? Diagonal is a line segment that connects two consecutive vertices of a polygon. Yeah, so two consecutive means the vertices which are next to each other, right? Can you tell me a diagonal in this figure? So what is a diagonal in this figure? Yes? Hello, Bacha. Yep. So what is a diagonal in this figure? Can you tell me? See, these two, A and B and C, they are sides. And there is one more side, which is, I can name it as O. Okay, that is inside. This point, I can say, okay, it's O. So when I want to know the diagonal, let me name it O. All right. So when I want to know the diagonal, so when I want to know two non-consecutive sides, I said consecutive sides are the one which are next to each other. So A and B are consecutive. B and O are consecutive, whereas a C is the outside point. So a point which is not consecutive, which is not next to him, and the point, the line segment that we draw from a point B to the C, because it is not conical, that's why we call BC as a diagonal. All right, great. Now I'll give you one more figure. You need to tell me for this one. So tell me how many diagonals can be there in this figure. So just think of it. We have already discussed that we have a formula to calculate how many diagonals are there in this figure. Yeah. So first of all, how many diagonals are there in this figure? We need to calculate by a formula. What do we call it? The formula is that n bracket n minus 3 by 2, where n is the number of sides. So in this picture, we know there are 10 sides. It's a decagon. So n stands for 10. I'll put 10. So how do we solve this? We'll directly put the value of 10 bracket 10 minus 3 divided by 2. Here comes 10. 10 minus 3 means 7 by 2. I know when I divide it, it comes 5 into 7. That comes out to be 35. Great work if you were able to solve it. Well done. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now you have to give me the answer for this. Which is this figure? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six-sided figure. What do we call a six-sided figure? Yeah, write in the comment box. And how many diagonals will be there? Yeah, how many diagonals will be there for a how many side? Six-sided figure. So we know to calculate the diagonals, the formula is n bracket n minus 3. So here n is 6. That's right. So it is 6 bracket 6 minus 3 divided by 2. It comes out to be 6 multiplied by 3 by 2. When I divide this, I get 3. So 3 3s are 3 into 3. That comes out to be 9. So let's see, are we able to get the right answer or not? Yes, that's right. We got 9. So here the diagonal is of this figure is 9. Well done. Okay, let's recall the other one. What is convex and concave? Polygons. Yeah. So convex, I gave you an example or an easy way to solve is X. X stands for external. And let's make it opposite. NO, no external. So when there is no external line, external diagonal of the picture, we call it convex. But when there is, we call it concave. Okay? That is a trick to learn that so that you never get confused. Okay, let's start now. You have to tell me, is this figures a convex or a concave? Okay, it's a convex or not? Obviously, it's not. That means it's concave. All right. Is it a convex? Is there any diagonal which is going out from any point? Whenever I'll try to make a diagonal, I'll go there, here, here, anyway. No, it is not. So that means it is a convex polygon. Great. So convex polygons is which has a portion of their diagonals in their externals which have no portion. Remember that it says which have no portion of their diagonals on the external or outside the figure. We call it a convex polygon. Good work. Moving on to the next one, it says, can you tell me, is this figure a concave or not? Think over the diagonal. Is it the diagonal coming out? Yes, we can see that if I try to make a diagonal on this one, going from this point to this line, this diagonal is coming outside of the main figure. That's why we call it, it is a concave polygon. Great. Okay, let's see. How about this one? Is it a concave or not? Yes or no? Kindly comment it down. I'm here to get your answers. Let's see. Yeah, is this a concave polygon or not? Is there any diagonal outside the figure? Can you make any diagonal? Yes, yes, you can make a diagonal outside. Yes, this point. So here it is a concave polygon. So concave polygons can have more than one diagonal. It's not that only one diagonal it is there. It can be more. But in these cases, we have only how many diagonals? We have only one diagonal that is outside of the boundary or of the figure. We call it a concave. Okay, great. moving on to the next one. Can you tell me which figure is a regular or not a regular polygon? So do you remember what concept have we learned? A figure, it's called regular when it is equidistant, like the sides are all equal and the angles are also all equal. So it's equiangled and equilateral. So all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal. So we can see it says that all the sides are A, and have all the angles equal. So yes, it is a regular polygon. All right, moving on to this one. Can you tell me, is this figure a regular polygon or not? Yes, is it a regular polygon or not? Yes, well done. Yes, it is not a regular polygon. It's irregular. Why? It's a rectangle, even though the angles are same, but the sides of the opposite directions are same. All the sides are not same. It's not an equilateral figure, right? So that's why we call it, it is a irregular polygon. Okay, moving on, we know that some property of a triangle is that sum of all the angles inside is 180 degree, right? Angle A plus angle B plus angle C is 180 degree. So using this logic, you have to tell me of the missing angle. What is the angle measurement of this angle of yellow color? All right, go ahead, give me the answer. One angle is 70, one is 30. I need to find the third angle. But I know the property of the triangle that when all the angles of a triangle are equal, it becomes 180 degree, right? So 70 plus 30 plus, let it be the angle X. So what is the value? 70 plus 30 comes out to be 100. 180 minus 100. So what is it? 80. Well done. Good. Okay, now this one, you need to calculate. Find the missing angle for this figure. So suppose this angle is X. So how will I calculate? The same way which we did the first one. I know the sum of all the angles is 82 degree plus 55 degree, and let it be X degree, okay? Or let it be X, whichever way you want to, is equals to how many? What is it? 180 degree. Okay, so I know the value of this is X. Let me keep it X only. So when I know, I add this 82 plus 55, it comes out to be 137 plus X is equals to 180 degree, right? So what will be the value of X? It will be 180 degree minus 137 degree. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Degree is important. You have to write that. That comes out to be 43 degrees. So value of this angle is 43 degree. Let's see, were we able to get the right answer? That's right. The answer is 43 degree. Well done if you were able to do it. I hope you have watched the previous video so that you can revise all of this together and you can understand what exactly what we are doing. Right. Okay. The summation of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. So we know that the angles inside, angle A plus angle B plus angle C plus angle D. So the inside angle, the angles here, angle A, angle B, here, C and D, their sum is 360 degree. So using this property, you need to tell me what is the value of X. So what is the value of X? I know 105 degree plus 75 degree plus 60 degree plus X is equals to, what is it? It is a quadrilateral. So some property of all the angles being added is equals to 360 degree. That's right. So how will we write it? X plus 105 degree plus 75 degree plus 60 degree is equals to 360 degree. That's right. Okay, so X plus, when I add this, this comes out to be 105 plus 60, 165 plus 75. That comes out to be 240 degree is equals to 360 degree, right? So when I subtract X is equals to 360 degree minus 240 degree, 120, I'm so sorry, I directly read the answer. I was calculating the answer that I wrote it directly. Okay, when I calculate this, it comes out to be 120 degree, right? So, okay, so we got the missing angle, that is 120 degree. Okay. moving on to the sum measurement of the external angle of a polygon. So today we are starting the topic. Till now we have revised and we have already studied that in the previous lectures and the classes, the session which I gave you. So now we'll understand what the new topic is. That what are external angles of a polygon? That is the important thing. What are external angles? See, let me draw a polygon with the help of a chalk on a floor. Okay, this is a polygon that I have drawn. Now, what am I doing is I'm A, B, C, D, E, and I want to know the angles of angle M. Why I've written M angle 1, M angle 2? That means measurement of angle 1. The measurement, M small stands is a short form of measurement. Okay. So measurement, I want to know the angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 plus angle 5. What are these all external angles? What do we mean by external angles? First of all, the angles which are outside the figure, which are not inside, which are forming on the outside boundaries, we call it external angles of a polygon. All right. So here we can see how is it forming if I cross the line from A to B. Then if I have to go to the line B to C, in this track, I have to make an angle of angle 1. I have turned from this line in this angle so that I can move on line BC. Similarly, the same way, I have to turn to the angle 2 so that I can move on the CD line. Similarly, I have to turn from the angle 3 degree, so the third angle, so that I have to move on the DE line. And the last one, from going to CEA, I have to turn to an angle of what is angle number 4, whichever degree it is, right? This is what is happening. So to make this complete round, I have to turn to the angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5. So to know this, we know that the angles, we are taking a round and coming back. It is a circle, a sort of. So I have to keep on rotating to it so that I reach on the starting point. So what is a circle? It is a 360-degree angle. That's why we say that the sum property of angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, and angle 5 should be, it should be 360 degree, so that if I start from a 9, I keep on moving in any direction, but I'll come back to that direction, exactly that point, only if the angles or the degree which I'm moving, its sum is equals to 360 degree. All right. Okay. So now with the help of this rule that we know, we need to find the value of x. So what is the value of x? Pretty easy. See, this is an external angle. This is also an external angle, external angle, external angle. I know the sum property of all the external angles should be 360 degree. So I know x plus 90 degree plus 50 degree plus 110 degree should be equal to 360 degree. That's right. Okay. So now on solving this, I realize that x value of x is 110 degree. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon whose each angle, external angle, has a measurement of 45 degree. So we have to make, or have to tell, okay, you don't have to make it. You have to just tell me that what would be the number of sides of a regular polygon whose external angles has a measurement of 45 degree. So I know each angle on the outside. Okay, let's try to make it, okay? So when I know, let me make a quadrilateral or a polygon. See, I don't know the side, so I don't know will it be a quadrilateral, will it be a polygon or what. So, but it will be a decagon. It can be a decagon as well or a heptagon as well. I don't know the size, but I know the measurement of the each external angle. So how many external angles there are, it will be 45 degree each. So when I know this, that means that 360 degree has to be equally divided. So the number of external angles will be equal. So I'll divide 360 degree by 45 degree, which comes out to be 8. So I know it is an octagon on external sides of each an angle is 45 degree. Clear with this? Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one. It's a triangle. Okay, and I want to know the external angle of this. Pretty easy. How will I do it? So x plus external angle 125 plus 125 should be equal to what? It should be equal to, yes, yes, it should be equal to 360 degrees. So x plus 125 plus 125 plus 125 will be equal to 360 degree. So x plus 250 degree is equals to 360 degree. So on subtracting 360 degree minus 250 degree, it comes out to be 110 degree. Let's see, have you got the answer right? Were we able to get the right answer? That's right. So it's easy, pretty easy. To know a value of 1, you can simply calculate it by adding those values. Okay, just adding the total of all the external angles which are available to us. Their sum will be equal to 360 degree. Okay, great. Moving on to the next question. This one, give it a shot. I'll give you some time. Try it, solve, and give me the answer in the chat box. Okay, now think over it, what angle it is. We can say that it's not given, but it is understood. That we have already understood. We know it. What is it? It is a perpendicular, and when a line is a perpendicular to a line, what angle does it make? It makes a 90-degree angle. That's right. So this is 90-degree angle, and this is also 90-degree angle. So I know the external angle 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to calculate just the value of x. Can I do that? Yeah? Okay. Give it a shot. Try and tell me the answer quickly. I'm giving you a couple of seconds. Try it. Yes. So what's the answer? Okay. All right. Great. So the answer is x plus 90 degree plus 90 degree plus 60 degree plus 70 degree, and its sum is equals to how much? 360 degree, right? Sum of all the exterior angles is equal to 360 degree. This is a property. So x plus 180 degree plus 130 degree is equals to 360 degree. So x plus 310 degree is equals to 360 degree. On subtracting, I'll get 50 degree. Let's see, have we got the right answer? Well done. So the value of x is 50 degree. Okay, moving on to the next one. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon whose each external angle measures 25 degree. We have done a similar question before. So now you can tell me how to solve this. Yes, go ahead and give me the answer quickly. So find the number of sides of a regular polygon whose each external angle has a measurement of 24 degree. So how many sides will be there or how many angles will be there, that we need to calculate. But we know that the sum of all the angles is 360 degree. And I know each angle. So what will the value of one side, number of sides will be equal to? Each angle is 224 degree. So I'll divide by 24 degree. When I divide 360 by 24. What do I get? I get the answer as 15. So in this case, there will be 15 sides. Let's see. Yeah, the polygon has 15 sides. Well done. Good. So now let's move to the topic, the kinds of quadrilaterals. So based on the nature of the sides and the angles of a quadrilateral, we give them different names. So there are special names for special type of quadrilaterals. See, a quadrilateral means there are 4 sides. Perfect. And there are 4 angles. Perfect with this. But now each side has a different way. It has a different property of existence. So that's why we have classified a quadrilateral into different names according to what special things they have, and we use those properties to solve the question. So in some questions, when we think that the information is not given to us, actually it is given by telling us directly the name of the quadrilateral. So we already know that this quadrilateral has some basic properties that we have to already learn or understand. Why do we call this a quadrilaterals? Okay. So this is pretty important so that in all the further questions, you understand what is the difference and why do we name them. Okay. So quadrilateral is classified as a trapezium, a kite, or a parallelogram. So what is a trapezium, what is a kite, and what is a parallelogram? So each and every figure has a different shape, has some different qualities, okay? Some different properties. Okay, moving on with the first one, it says trapezium. So what is a trapezium? Trapezium is a quadrilateral with a pair of parallel sides. So what is having? It has only a pair. It has only a pair means it has only one of the parallel side. So you will see that there is only one parallel side. These two lines are parallel. Instead, this line and this line is not parallel. Same in this case. This side and this side is parallel, whereas these two sides are not parallel. This one is parallel. These two sides are not parallel. This one and this one is parallel. These two sides are not parallel. Okay. So in the case where we make a four-figured side figure quadrilateral in which only one side is parallel to each other, we call it trapezium. All right. Okay. Now, what are the properties of a trapezium? See, these are the trapezium, whereas in this one, these are not trapezium. Why they are not trapezium? Because see, this side and this side is not parallel. This side and this side is not parallel. So not even a one side is parallel to each other. Here also, none of the opposite sides are parallel. Here, there are how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 sides. Even if these two are parallel, but this is not the opposite side because there are 5 sides. Okay? This side is not parallel to this one. So in that case, we'd call it that these sides of the quadrilateral is not parallel. See, a quadrilateral has only 4 sides, whereas in this one, there are 5. So it's not a quadrilateral, even if it has a parallel sides. So you have to be very careful that it's a quadrilateral. That means that's 4 sides, first of all, and one pair, one opposite sides are parallel to each other. This is the way we classify. This is a trapezium, whereas these are not trapezium. Okay. So the arrows here indicates the parallel line. So you can indicate it with the parallel lines. Moving on to the second variety or second type, it is a kite. Just like we all fly kites, it is a frame like a diamond shape, we can say that. Okay. So kite is a special type of quadrilateral. The sides with the same marking in the following figures are equal. So what happens is two sides on the top are equal to the two sides at the bottom. So in this, there are 4 sides, but the 2 sides adjacent to each other, they are equal. So we say this, see, these 2 sides are equal. These 2 are equal. The first, this side and this side are equal. These 2 sides are equal. So in this, 2 sides are equal, but they are not opposite. They are just adjacent. So next to each other sides are equal. Then we call it, it is a shape of a kite. All right. Here, AB side is equals to AD and BC is equals to CD. All right. How about this one? Can you say these are kite? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Is it a quadrilateral? No, a quadrilateral has 4 sides. So this picture does not belong to this category. Moving on to this one. Okay, these opposite sides are equal. There are 4 sides, but the opposite sides are equal. We don't need that. This is not the answer. If the opposite sides we need, the adjacent sides are equal. So here, this is also not a kite shaped. Moving on to the third figure, three sides are equal. No, we just need the two sides equal. The third one, that should be equal to this side. If these three are equal and the fourth is different, then this is not a kite. Okay, Mohit, not a problem. Thank you for coming back and attending the session. It feels a very good moment when you have students who are regular with you and they are there, they are waiting for you. Even I waited for you. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay, so these are not the kites. Can you see? These two are even the normal adjacent sides are equal, but here there are 5 sides. Here the opposite sides are equal, but we need the adjacent sides. Okay. Okay, moving on to a parallelogram. So what is a parallelogram? See, what does a parallelogram? Parallelogram, the word itself has a parallel word in it. So a figure which is parallel. That means the quadrilateral with opposite sides are parallel, therefore the opposite angles are equal. That's why we call it a parallelogram. So these two sides, opposite sides are parallel to each other and the opposite angles. What does the opposite angle mean? What is an opposite angle of angle A? This one on the opposite direction, angle T. Opposite angle of B is angle C. Okay, I'm making a different mark so that you can realize what I want to say. So in this case, these two angles are equal. So line AB is parallel to line CD and line AC is parallel to line AD. Thus, it is a parallelogram. So opposite sides, both the opposite sides are parallel to each other. So what exactly is happening? See, if I tell you, I'll choose another color. See, this line is parallel. Can you see it? To this one. This is what is it? And here what is happening is we are drawing a transversal. These are also parallel. So due to which this angle and this angle is equal and this angle is equal. These are just parallel and there's a transversal. So we'll use this in the theorems and we'll realize how the things are equal. Okay, we'll derive that. So for now, just remember that in a parallelogram, the opposite sides are equal and the opposite angles are also equal. Great. Okay, this is a parallelogram or it's not a parallelogram. AB is parallel to CD, but AC is not parallel to AD. So that is why it is not a parallelogram. Can you see the difference? Two sides are parallel to each other, whereas the other two sides are not parallel. They are moving in a direction. And if I extend these lines, we are very sure that they'll meet at a point. That's why they are not parallelogram. It is not a parallelogram figure. Okay. Now moving on to the elements of a parallelogram. So what are the elements? The elements are what this parallelogram has. See, a parallelogram has 4 sides and 4 angles. The opposite sides are AB and CD, AD and BC. Whereas what is an adjacent side? Adjacent side are the sides which are just connected and they are just one vertex. So here if I say AB and BC are adjacent sides. So B vertex is common between both the sides. That's why we call it, it's an adjacent angle. Sides, okay? And this is the angle or the vertex which is between, okay? Similarly, BC and CD are the adjacent sides. Okay. So angle A and angle B are adjacent angles. They are just next to each other. So we call it adjacent angles. Similarly, angle B and angle C are adjacent. Angle C and angle D are adjacent. And angle A and angle D are adjacent angles. Okay. Whereas angle A and angle C are, what are they? They are not adjacent. They are opposite. They are on the opposite side. So we call it their opposite angles. Okay. Now you have to find the perimeter of a parallelogram PQRS. So it's given PQ is 12 centimeter. QR is 7 centimeter. You need to calculate the perimeter. So what is the perimeter? Perimeter is known as the sum of all its sides, right? Yes. So if I know only the sides PQ and QR, do I know SR and PS? No, it's not mentioned. It's not given. Then how can I calculate the perimeter of a parallelogram? Yes. How can I calculate the perimeter of a parallelogram? Yeah, it's that all the sides, the opposite sides are equal. So we know that side, this PQ is 12 and SR is also 12, whereas QR is 7 and PS is 7. So we know the opposite sides are equal. That means this side is also 12 centimeters and this side is 7 centimeters. Now, okay, 38 centimeter. Let's see, Mohit. Let's add them. So it is 38. Well done. So 12 plus 12, 7 plus 7. That comes out to be 38 centimeter. Okay, so JD, yes, you have a doubt. You can ask that. Okay, so opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. Okay, so now moving on to the property, it says the opposite angle of a parallelogram are of equal measures. So I know the opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. This we have known that. Okay, now you tell me, find the value of angle X, angle Y, and angle Z. Yes, JD, you can ask the question. I'm there to solve it. Okay, I'm waiting for your question. So find the value of X, Y, and Z in a parallelogram BEST. So it's a parallelogram BEST. So you need to know the value of X, Y, and Z. So I know the value of B. So can I know the value of X? What will be the value of X? Yes. So if angle B is 100 degree, what is the value of X? What is the value of X first? Mohit, okay. Let's see. You've given me the answer for Y and Z. Let's see what's the value of X. Okay. So X is, see, we can say it's a parallelogram that is given to us. That means the opposite angles are equal. So we are pretty sure that angle B is equals to angle X because they are opposite. Okay. So that means angle B is 100. That's why the angle X is also equals to 100 degree. All right. Now when I know these angles to be 100 degree, I know the value of X. Moving on to this side. Now, what is the value of Y and what is the value of Z? Okay, so what is the value of Y and what is the value of Z? See, this is a straight line. I know the sum of internal angles. Also, I know this angle. Let it be angle number 1 and let it be this angle 2. I know angle 1 will be equal to angle 2, right? And I know these two angles are the sum of all the internal angles of a parallelogram is 360 degree, right? I already know this angle is 200. Now, when I know it's 200, I can subtract it by 200. I'm left with 160 degree. So I'm pretty sure this 160 degree has to be equally divided in angle 1 and angle 2. That comes out to be that Z is equals to 80 degree. That means angle 1 is equals to 80 degree and angle 2 is also equals to 80 degree. Now, we also know, looking at this angle, this line, Y and Z, they both are adjacent to each other. That means these two, both the lines, this line with both the angles together, we call it linear pairs. So one is 100, one is, I know this is 80. I know the linear pair sum is 180. So 180 minus 80, which comes out to be 100. So I know the angle of y, it is 100 degree. Let's see. Have we got the right answer? Yeah, x is 100, y is 100, and z angle is 80. Okay, great. Okay, moving on to the properties of a parallelogram. Angle A plus angle D are supplementary. What do we call it? Supplementary angles. Since BC is parallel to AD, which DE as a transversal. See, I told you that these are the two parallel lines and this is a transversal, which are two angles of internals. So here, internal angle A and angle D, we call it a supplementary angles. Can you see this? See, these two lines are parallel to each other and there is one transversal. Okay. With this, I know these are the internal angles. That is why these two known as a supplementary angles. Okay, there are two angles on the internal. So when we call it supplementary, suppose I give this angle number 1, this as an angle number 2. So measurement of angle 1 plus measurement of angle 2 is always 180 degree. Remember that when we say it's supplementary, that means its sum should be 180 degree. Clear? That we have already done in grade 7, I suppose. Okay, using those property today, and we'll get to know that these two angles, angle A and angle D, when added together, their sum will be 180 degree. Okay, now it's a parallelogram, R-I-N-G ring. If angle R is 70 degree, find the other angles. Now this is quite easy. How can you do it? How will you proceed? You just know one angle. How can you calculate the other angles? Yes. Yes, we know one angle of angle R is 70 degree. How can I calculate angle G? R plus G should be 180 degree, right? So first of all, let it be a simple one. If R is 70 degree, I know what is angle N. It is opposite. So in a parallelogram, it's pretty sure that the opposite angles are equal. So the opposite one is angle N, that is equals to 70 degree. So we got two angles, 70 degree, 70 degree. Moving on to the next one, angle R and angle I, or you can say angle R and angle G are supplementary. When two angles are supplementary, their sum is equals to 180 degree. Okay, Mohit, let's say 110. 180 degree. So 180 degree minus 70 degree, that comes out to be 110. Well done, Mohit. And that's why angle G is an opposite to angle I, and angle I will be also equal to 110. So now I got this 110. Now I is opposite, so I know it will be also 110. Pretty easy, right? Okay, great. Moving on to the next topic, it says the diagonal of a parallelogram. So what are the diagonals? The diagonal of a parallelogram is generally or are not equal in length. Just remember that diagonals which are there in a parallelogram, they are not equal in length. Instead, what do? When these two diagonals intersect, they divide both the diagonals in equal. They bisect each other. That means that if this is a diagonal of a parallelogram, then OH is equals to OL and OP is equal to E. This is the way we do it. So this question we'll solve next time. We are short of time today. Okay, so we'll solve this question next time. I'll make a point to solve this together next time. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you liked the session. You had fun. And just remember this one thing, that is a parallelogram in which they are not equal. The sides of each length of a diagonals are not equal. Instead, what do? They intersect each other and bisect. That means the half of that it is there. So when they cut at the point, both the diagonals are left half. Okay. All right then. Hope to see you next time together with the third session, in which we'll understand more types of quadrilaterals which we are missed in this topic, and we will finally able to understand what a parallelogram is and how to use its properties. Okay, great then. Finally, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss any update, and we can catch you together next time and solve more of your questions. Okay, great time having you all together. Have a nice day and more days to come till that we